Hi all, Rex King here. I'm here to present another video. This one, the subject is Embrace Your Devil Too. How or why should we embrace our devil too? Well, we're going to explain that very quickly through this image that I produced on the screen. Let's get right into it. You reap what you sow. We all know that. We accept that. We reap what we sow. In our life, depending on what we choose, what we do, we get a result, okay? You mature at your own pace. And if we accept that God is behind our childhood, our existence, and we're doing our best to mature at our own pace, because He's allowing us to grow at our own pace, we should be able to assume that it's loving. That whatever this arrangement is that God has set up with regard to having a devil in our life, it's a loving arrangement, okay? So let's accept that. And that we're allowed to mature at our own pace, just like we let our children grow when we have children. We don't force them to become adults, especially in a physical way. It takes time. But even in emotional and mental way, it takes time. Growth is a process. It can't happen overnight. There's an old saying, there's a saying, you can have 9 pregnant women, but you can't have a baby in 1 month. It takes 9 months and then you're going to have 9 babies. The point is, it takes so long to accomplish a particular thing, even to get the first one. With that in mind, let me get right back into this. So here we are, the individual with free will. God created the son, the child, the soul, okay? The individual that we are, okay? We decide, we have free will. And of course, we have to accept the fact that God, all things belong to God, okay? So in our free will, we have the ability to make good choices because we've been learned and so forth. We've been taught, we've been instructed, we've experienced, we know what reality is in this instance, and we're making that good, sound decision versus making ignorant decisions. Let's just take this from the time we're a baby born. We're an infant born, okay, and we're trying to make decisions for ourselves. And the only decision we pretty much can say is, I'm not comfortable, I want to start crying. So you start crying, bam, you start crying, you cry. And every time you cry, somebody comes along and satisfies you, a bottle or a blanket or a changing or something, okay? In other words, you use your free will to cry. You're a baby. You need some assistance, and an angel comes and assists you, okay? When you're an infant, okay? Hopefully, But the point is there's a relationship as a child, complete ignorance, can't make any real choices other than cry. But as you grow older, you get to make your own decisions and your own choices more and more and more, okay? And depending on our environment, we're going to make choices with our free will, okay? And whether we like it or not, some of those choices on this shoulder are going to be good. And some of those choices on this shoulder, we're going to say, we wish we had done that before. And of course, it's about growing up, maturing. The point being is that the devil is basically part of our decision process. Do I want to make a bad choice or do I want to make a good choice? Of course, it's not usually that easy to say, oh yeah, that's the bad choice, this is the good one, I want to pick the good one. In other words, life is complicated and we have to make choices, and sometimes they're very, very difficult. Sometimes they're so difficult that we actually make the bad one thinking we're making the good one. The point about all this is the devil should not be looked at as some spiritual power out there that God created to give us trouble, or is out there in a maniacal mind trying to fight against us or create problems in our lives. It's just that is not scriptural. It's just not in the Bible. It's just not, okay? Jesus said, the devil has no hold on me, okay? And he said, the Father and I are one. Okay, so basically Jesus was saying, I don't make any bad choices. The devil don't have any hold on me. I only make good choices because I and the Father are one. Okay, just that simple. We don't have to, as long as we know we have the Father, the devil is just a bad choice, nothing more. There's no fear ever, ever, ever. No one should ever fear that God or whether directly or through some second source or whatever, is out to get us in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, but you might say, yeah, but there's a lot of bad things happening in the world and nobody in particular did it. Well, the thing about this reap what you sow is if you put a seed in the ground today, okay, that doesn't mean it's going to germinate today or tomorrow. In fact, in the desert, there's seeds that have been out there for years, just waiting for the right conditions to blossom and become whatever it's supposed to be and produce fresh seeds and start the process again. And the thought is that depending on where we're located in our life and all the experiences that we've been presented in our life, we make choices and we create those choices to become something eventually, like a seed in the desert just waiting. And then eventually something might happen to create the fertilization of that seed, and it happens, okay? But the original person that actually started the process may be dead and gone. And you see, that's what we see on the world today, is we see the after effects of past decisions that were bad, that have accumulated in mankind's being, in its ongoing day-to-day existence. And those bad choices, those ignorant choices from the past and currently, cause us to think that, something's against us. But it's just collective bad choices, including the ones we continue to make. So the question is if we embrace your devil too, what does that mean? It means that we have to recognize that our life is a mixture of good and bad choices that we've made in the past. Some of those bad choices, we might not even realize they were bad choices. Some of those good choices we thought might turn out to be bad choices. So the point I'm getting at is we have to, as a spiritual adult mind, we have to recognize that we have power over our free will, and we do that by exercising our choice between making good and bad decisions. And this can be difficult. It takes a mature mind to recognize, yes, something I've been doing for years is no longer helpful. It's no longer beneficial. I need to stop doing that. Okay, I need to do something else now. Or yeah, the way I used to think the devil was out there to get me, he's going to fight me and hurt me and all, that God did that. He's got a devil out there, gave me free will, and now I got to fight the devil to keep it. That's not true. It's just not. You can interpret that into the Bible if you want to, but it's not necessary because it's just not real unless you create it real in your life. You see, you reap what you sow. So what I'm trying to say is this. If you want the devil in your life, this is the best way to think of him. As a bad choice on one of your, a bad choice, good choice, something useful in the decision-making process. But beyond that, you're making it up. It's just not scriptural. You're creating a devil in your life to cause you trouble unnecessarily because you're a creator. Just like if you make good decisions, you create a good life for yourself. If you create a mixture of good and bad decisions, you get a mixed life for yourself. Or if you create all bad decisions, you don't do good at all. You don't go well at all. But the point I'm getting at is every individual can embrace their devil by maturing, growing, learning the best to make sure that everything they do in their life is accurate and real and sound and based on reality, not on dreams and conceptions of what the world should be from some man's viewpoint, that if it winds up being some ignorant choices and we're living our life based on it, such as there's a devil out there to get me and I gotta be afraid, I gotta be fearful. Well, the Bible says that God says to not have any fear. He says, flee from the devil and he will flee from you. Flee from making bad choices and he will flee from you. The bad choices only come to you if you collect them to yourself. I want to make one more point with this slide and then I'm going to stop this. Okay. The point is this, is that everything belongs to God. We are God's children. We are maturing at the pace he wants us to mature at. Okay. And it's a loving process. And so there's no reason to fear our bad choices from the past. There's no reason to fear mistakes. There's no reason to fear any of that. Yeah, we don't want to make mistakes, and we don't want to make our life any more, we want to make our life the best it can be, not any more difficult than necessary. Okay, well, if that's true, then, that's what we want, then we can get that. But we have to do it based on sound logic and sound reasoning. And if God owns all things, that's why I like to use the word all for God. It's because what that's saying is, if you recognize that God is all, then the devil has to be in the all too. And if the devil is in the all and God is loving, how does it work? And this is how it works. With all that said and done, my intent was to present this so that a person can start getting a better conception of the real world around us from the viewpoint of the higher powers and how to process them so that we can live a life that's not based on love, on fear, but is based on love. And we know that that's possible because it's a real simple thing. Just make good decisions, go to school, learn, grow, mature. If you want to be in any particular trade, make all your choices to accomplish that, to become an expert at that trade, and you're going to be able to make a living the rest of your life at that particular trade or another trade after you've learned one. I mean, you can become a master of all sorts of skills, and all because learning to embrace your devil and make good choices with your life, and all things will work out. With all this said, hopefully you can get some good information, understanding out of this, so your thought processes will be better in the future. And anyway, peace on earth and security for all mankind we look forward to, and we pray that you will do your best to become part of those that's making this world a better place. Thank you.